Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is SoFlo Josh and we're here at Audi Miami South to film this 2025 Audi Q5 Prestige package for y'all. With that being said, I want to give a huge shout out to them. Make sure to go ahead and contact Florin and use promo code Let's Go Florin for additional savings. So underneath the hood lies the company's 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder producing 268 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. That is all linked to a 7-speed S-tronic DCT transmission to all 4 wheels because this model comes standard with Quattro now. So let's go ahead and talk about the styling. So for the 2025 model year, it is an all new generation. So complete redesign from the previous generation. Now let's talk about the styling. So up at the front, we have a new headlight unit compared to that of the old generation where you have your DRLs up at the top. You have an actual section right here that can actually be interchanged via the infotainment system as well as the rear tail lights. As you see, you have a full LED projector lamp, full LED high beam assist, and you have a full LED cornering lamp right there, which is really nice to see for this model. Talking about the front end grille design, so we got a completely new front end grille. Since this is the Prestige one, you have this nice gunmetal gray finish to it with the Audi logo that is all new, that's completely flat. We also got the 360 degrees camera right there up at the front, which is a pretty nice front end grille design. At least, you know what, Audi is actually sticking true to their design philosophy, unlike the competition where they've gone too radical with their design. Below that, as you see, you do have your sensor off to the left for your radar cruise control. This does come with a hands-free driving assist whenever you have it in the cruise control, as well as forward mitigation, for collision warning, and other safety precautions for this model as well. So it's very nice. Getting over here to the side, we do have some side intake systems over here off to the side to add some airflow around the wheels. They are also finished in that same exact gunmetal gray finish, which looks very, very nice. And the overall design of the front end is a lot sharper, a lot meaner, aggressive, in your face, and that even carries up to the hood. So you can see there is a very nice body line that carries from the front area of the hood section and all the way back to the glass section, which I love the design. And you even have this U-shape wraparound that goes around and carries into the front fender area. Let's go right here to the side. So right here we have the beautiful aero style wheels. They are the 20-inch wheels, so they look very nice. They're going to help with overall efficiency as well to add less amount of drag within each of the wheels. So it's going to be perfect. They are the Pirelli Scorpion MS tires. Looking at the side profile, as you see, it is a very nicely designed style SUV. I really love the body lines that we're getting from the hood section that carries here and then goes throughout the side of the profile for the new Q5. Below that, as you see, we do have some gloss black underneath to kind of split up a little bit of the color that we see on this model. And here's a little thing that I've noticed looking at this vehicle. As you see, there's a little notch right there on the front and the rear. That is to put the jack stands up whenever you need to change your tires so you don't damage the undercarriage of this vehicle, which is a really nice little Easter egg that Audi incorporates. Over here, you're gonna get full LED turn signals. Mirror cap is finished in the same exact color as the body color. And then you got some black plastic cladding around the window surround. So it looks very, very nice. I like this also silver design that we get for the Prestige model that wraps around here. Now, mind you, there is also the SQ5, which is gonna be your more performance-oriented model, which will give you a black surround if you go for the black optic package. And we even get roof rails up here on this specific model with a full panoramic sunroof. At the rear, as you see, we get a completely new rear design look. So we're gonna have these new multi-LED OLED beams right here. So you can actually interchange, just like I said about the front headlights, you can interchange these right here to multiple different designs, which is a really nice feature that Audi does that. And you can even do it while the car is on, unlike the competition where the competition doesn't let you do that. Below that, as you see, we have the Q5 badge right there in gloss black. We also have the Quattro badging and your Audi logo right here. Your turn signals are going to be located over here on this side. They are going to be in a red function and not an orange amber function. We do have LED reverse lights as well incorporated in there. And then below here, as you see, we do have functional dual exhaust systems. So each of them are functional now compared to the last generation. Thank you so much, Audi. I really appreciate having a functional exhaust system. The competition, the BMW X3 doesn't even give you exhaust systems for the base version of that model, which is crazy to think. But as you see, we do have more black plastic cladding to kind of split up. It actually reminds me a little bit of the Audi R8 in that rear section. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I really see that Audi R8 incorporated into that, you know, black plastic cladding that we have there. We also have fog lights for the rear. So this model still does come with the rear fog lights, which is a nice added feature. Carrying on with the whole entire rear glass, as you see, you do have a rear wiper right here. Your third brake is going to be in full LED, and then you have your antenna right there in gloss black. Well, let's open up the trunk. It is a power lift gate, which you can actually unlock and close from the rear, which is a nice thing. We do see a tonneau cover in this model, which is always good to see in a model that's standard. We have air suspension on this model. So this model comes with the air suspension, which is something that the competition doesn't even offer. So Audi, huge plus on that, because you get air suspension. You can lower and higher it. So if you need to add, you know, bigger items and you don't have enough upper body strength, guess what? That button right there will be able to help you and lower the car in its lower setting for this model. We do have a 12 volt right there, which is pretty nice. A little net section, LED lighting as well on either side. And you can release the rear seats for this model. But let's talk about what's underneath here. So underneath here, you're gonna have even more storage. This is where you're gonna find your subwoofer for that Bang & Olufsen speaker system. But look how much space you get in this model. Fantastic work, Audi. You are just killing it lately with all of your products. And then getting into the rear section. So if we open up the door, we do have these peasant shades right here. So you can go ahead and just clip it into there. Nice soft padding across the whole entire top section. We do have ambient lighting that illuminates right here. Bang & Olufsen speaker, tweeter bill right there. Door handle, your door unlock and lock from the rear. You do have your window switch gear. And then you do have a nice grab handle with another speaker grill and another speaker grill right over here. But actually, tons of space right there too to add a large bottle of water. But as you see, if we put these seats down here, guess what? When you lower them, they lock into place. I love when cars do that because sometimes the seats will fold down, but if you hit a bump, it swings up and down, which is not really premium. And this is a premium feature to see in a vehicle. You do have your little tether right there for your rear seat if you need to put your child's seat. Putting this up here. Another feature that's impressive that you don't even get in the competition like the X3 is reclining seats. So they don't recline too much, but at least you have the function of having reclined seats in a premium SUV. And another added bonus about these seats now is that you can actually slide it forward and slide it back to add more cargo space for this model, which is very impressive. With these seats, nice soft text leather right here with perforation down the middle. Let's get into the interior and let's check out how this vehicle feels. Closing the door, very solid sounding thunk. About 2.5 inches of overall legroom space, and I have tons of feet space underneath right there. As you see, we even have 2 nets back here for the rear seat occupant area. We have ventilation, tri-zone climate control with heated outboard seats for the Prestige package, and 2 USB Type-Cs. Now, overall headroom space, since the panoramic sunroof is incorporated into this model, I actually have a decent amount of headroom space sitting up tall in this model. I have probably about 1.5 inches of overall headroom space. Mind you, I am 5'10", so just keep that in mind. You have a nice little handle right here, and also a little hook to go ahead and put your suit or any other clothing. But panoramic sunroof is incorporated into this model. We'll go ahead and talk about that now when we get into the front. Another thing I do want to know about the rear door handle area is that you do have proximity door handles for the front and the rear, which is another added bonus for this model compared to the competition. So over here, getting into the front section, as you see, we do have that same soft padding up at the top, Bang & Olufsen speaker with the illumination right here for the ambient lighting, your door handle release right there, window switch gear, and then this new controller that was first introduced in the Audi Q6, which is really nice. You have all your light functions right here for the rear, for the exterior, as well as your unlock and lock, power folding mirrors, your adjustment for your mirrors, and then presets for your seat, as well as your child lock right there as well. Nice little silver illumination right here for this section. And since this is the beige interior color, we're gonna see a little bit of that color brought into the door card section, which is nice. Got your speaker system right here, another speaker system, little cubby space to put some stuff, your release for your trunk, and the tweeter bill right there. But as you see, this is the power seat, so it's gonna power forward and back. You do have 4-way lumbar control, tilt forward, tilt down in the front section as well as the rear section, and we do have manual controlled for the thigh extender. But with that being said, let's get into the interior and let's see how this vehicle is. First thing you're gonna be greeted with is the new Audi steering wheel. So it has a very nice 9/3 grip area. You do have paddle shifters at the rear for this vehicle. Even in the base format, heated control for the steering wheel, since this is the prestige package. I believe the premium package actually gives you the heated steering wheel as well, and then your control for your multimedia for the volume control, as well as over here to control your new digital gauge cluster. So right down in the middle, we have an 11.9-inch digital gauge cluster. Over here to the right, this is a new MMI 14.5-inch touchscreen display. And then for the passenger over there, as you can see, it is the new 10.5-inch touchscreen display, which is a really nice thing to see in this model. Since this is the prestige package, it does come standard. And guess what? You know, your passenger can easily be your co-pilot, just like Audi was having whenever they were doing rallycross with that Audi Quattro S1. If you guys know, you know. Who doesn't love rally? Anyways, so getting into the touchscreen display over here. So it's very nice, snappy, responsive. It is an Android-based system, so you're gonna have Google embedded stuff in here where you're gonna have YouTube. You could watch YouTube on here as well as in the passenger screen, which is an added bonus for sure. You even have some sections to go ahead and control your climate control. So you have your fan speed as well as other comfort assist, as well as the third rear system, because this does come with the tri-zone climate control in this model. Passenger can control their own, the driver can control their own. We do have heated and ventilated seats for this model. Nice vent sections right here as well. I really like the way that everything feels in here. A very nice click whenever you are changing the amount of velocity that comes out of these vents right here. Ambient lighting that goes down here. And then we have some sections right here for buttons. But this MMI system, I loved it in the Q6, and guess what? I love it in the Q5. I think it is the best touchscreen display and the best software I've seen in the competition field right now. This blows BMW's system out of the park. It is the most high quality I have ever seen in a premium brand right now. And in this gauge cluster, like I said, you could change multiple things. So over here on these little side pods, you can actually go up and down and even to the side and change what you want. So if you want to have your miles per hour or your gallon, what you have in fuel, you can go ahead and do that. And then over here off to the side, you can actually put your navigation, your latest destination, as well as other stuff. So you're maybe like if you want to see what you're listening on the radio, your phone, connectivity, navigation, and everything else like that. But really nice infotainment. You even have your car right down the middle with the speed off to the right and then your RPMs as well. You also have a large heads-up display, which we'll show more when we go ahead and go into the driving portion of this video. And like I was mentioning, down here we do have your start-stop button right there, drive mode selector, your automatic start-stop functionality when it comes to coming to a complete stop and the engine turning off. I'm really happy to see that Audi has it here and not embedded into the screen. You do have your emergency lights, and I don't know if you noticed this, but across there, your turn signals will illuminate on either side. This is a really nice feature, and the reason why I think that's a very nice feature is, let's say for example, you're listening to music and you're driving and you don't actually hear your turn signal on, and you have it on the whole time, and people are wondering, what are you gonna be doing for your next move? Guess what? This is gonna be here, since you're focusing on the road ahead. That will let you know exactly what is going on, which is a really nice thing to see. traction control off button right there, volume control forward and back track, 2 USB Type-Cs, as well as a 12 volt right there. And then you have more section right here to put your phone for wireless charging capability. Now this does come with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto seamlessly. It's snappy, quick to respond. You do have your drive mode or your selector for your Prindle. You have the reverse right here, so whenever you reverse, as you see, it does have trajectory, which is another added bonus to see. When you put it into drive, it will actually put on the front camera, so whenever you're setting off, that will illuminate. Now, you do have a dedicated button right here to go ahead and have the camera system on the whole entire time. If you're in a parking spot or you're trying to get into a tight spot, you can just turn that on. You do have the panoramic that I actually had in the panoramic view, but you actually have the 360 degrees section right over here off to the side. So all you need to do is just press that button and boom, you are all set. But very nice section. You even have this dedicated button here to go ahead and turn off or on any of the safety stuff that you have. So each of these buttons right here will have all of your safety situations completed into that section. Over here we have 2 large cup holders. They have some nice little nods right here off to the side. Opening this right here in the middle, you do have a large center compartment area to put some stuff in with LED lighting as well. You have a little key holder right here, and since this does have that section where it can actually higher up and just stay right there, let's say for example you just want to drive like this, you can go ahead and do that, which is another thing that I love about Audi products, that they have this. You have some nice stitching all across, nice soft padding, and then like I said, ambient lighting all across right here. I really like the way that everything feels in here. Even this nice wood grain design for the trim of the upper dash. Now the SQA will have different materials that you could choose from a aluminum feeling right here, but this one comes with the wood. We even get some stitching up across right over here, and opening up here, as you see, we do have a nice glove compartment that is damped in line with felt. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take this puppy out for a drive. All right, so let's go ahead and put it into drive and take it out for our first drive. So like I mentioned, this is the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder producing 268 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque via the 7-speed S-tronic DCT transmission. So we're gonna see how this vehicle feels. Now you can of course get the V6 in the Audi SQ5 for that model. We're gonna actually turn off the automatic start-stop functionality. But so far, this is a really great car. I mean, the power delivery, even not going too fast, but it still feels seamless, a lot more responsive than what you would find in the competition space. And even the suspension, I love the fact that we have air suspension for this model right here, because in a lot of ways, having the air suspension is gonna help with overall dynamics, and overall intrusions of like bumps and stuff like that won't carry forward into the cabin space, which is a very nice thing to feel in this model. But taking it over here, giving it some gas, you know, very quick, very responsive 7-speed DCT transmission. I really like how this power plant feels in this model. Since I mentioned this is the base version, you know, having the 268 is actually the most that you'll get in the competition field right now. So it beats out the X3. It also beats out the Mercedes equivalent, which is fantastic to see. You know, Audi's typically the more sportier, more you know, enthusiastic version of the big three when it comes to the German playing field. Now, I like to mention also, this infotainment system is just amazing. I love the heads-up display that we have over here. It is very sharp, also very bright. You can change, of course, the brightness depending on if you need, you know, you have eyes that hurt when it comes to brighter textures. But guess what? With this vehicle, it's gonna have a very high quality heads-up display, which is something that I loved when I did the Q6. The brakes feel really good, actually. They bite very well and they stop you extremely fast, actually. Probably the most responsive I've ever felt in this competition space right here. Even the steering feel, as you see, it's very direct. Even though this is a steer-by-wire system, it's the most responsive I've also felt in this field. So hats off to Audi for making such a responsive steering feel as well as the brake feel. Now carrying forward over here and driving, I want to talk about the MVH. So far, the MVH has been phenomenal. Mind you, I am not on the highway, so expect it to be a little bit different when it comes to that, in that quality, but driving on the road, really good. Even though we have 20-inch wheels, you don't hear too much of the intrusion being incorporated into the cabin space. Now let's take it over here to this road and put it into dynamic mode, as well as the S mode for the transmission. Wow, really good turn-in radius. And the car automatically livens up. Wow, it feels astonishing around these curves. Look how it just hugs. That's the best thing about Audi's Quattro system. It just grips and hugs those curves like no other all-wheel drive system has ever done before. Nobody can compete against Audi's Quattro system. This is phenomenal. Let's go over these bumps. Really good. It's a very good suspension feeling, man. You know, every single time that I step into an Audi, I'm just amazed. I feel like the quality is there. It is there. It is such a great all-around vehicle. This is something that you need to get behind the wheel of, because, man, I just got out of the BMW X3 earlier, this week, and I have to say, this just feels 100 times better. The X3 doesn't even do that good when it comes to the overall turning radius, or whenever you're turning into a section, it just doesn't feel good. This feels a lot more, poised and planted than whatever that X3 felt. It was horrible. This just feels good. Hats off to Audi, and Audi and the team is doing fantastic lately. I really love their overall products. It's something else, Let's go ahead and actually turn over here and give it a little bit of gas, and let's see how this car overall feels. So, really good. Turning in, you could feel that Quattro system going to that rear wheel and assisting to make it feel better. That is something that I love to see in products when it comes to a sporty all-wheel drive system, and Audi has done that. Once again, Audi is the top of its class, especially when it comes to this generation. They just know what they are creating. All right, so setting off. I want to use the paddle shifters really quick and see how they feel whenever you floor it a little bit. Look at that. Extremely great turning in. That 7-speed S-tronic DC-3 transmission is so sharp and so precise in those shift points. Oh man, every single time, I know I said it before, but every single time I step into an Audi product, I am just amazed at what they have to deliver. Once again, I want to give a huge shout out to Audi Miami South for allowing me to film this vehicle. If you guys are interested in purchasing any Audi products whatsoever in the future, make sure to go ahead and contact Florin and use promo code Let's Go Florin for more additional savings. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.